Terima kasih Encik Syazman Tajuddin. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Nama saya Farah dan selamat kembali ke rancangan Awak Okey, rancangan interaktif kesihatan mental. Terima kasih kepada viewers kita di Facebook hari ini. Jangan lupa like dan share Facebook page Selangor 3W. Hari ini kita akan berbincang tentang art psikoterapi. Apa itu art psikoterapi dan bagaimana ia boleh menolong orang dengan masalah kesihatan mental. Bersama dengan panel kita pada hari ini, Cik Dana Karina, seorang volunteer dari MIASA. Izinkan saya berbahasa Inggeris hari ini dengan Cik Dana Karina. Hi
Hello.
Dana, hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Farah.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So today I will have a few questions for you in regards to art therapy. So first of all, how is MCO treating you, or how has MCO been treating you lately?
Okay, surprisingly, I'm quite used to it now. I've been making pretty good use of all the free time that I've had. I've been doing a lot of art at home, and I've been using that to kind of fill my time and just spending a lot of time with family as well.
Yeah.
Catching up on reading lots of books that I've always wanted to read. Yeah, so it's been pretty okay.
Okay,
It's been
that
pretty
sounds
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. Okay. Kepada viewer kita hari ini yang ada art block atau drawing block, boleh join kita hari ini dengan melukis dengan Cik Dana. Okay. So Dana, just some introduction on art therapy.
Yeah.
What is art therapy?
Okay, so everyone, has an idea of what art is and what therapy is, but for some reason when art and therapy are combined together, it seems to kind of confuse people. Okay, but art therapy is basically, just a way to heal, and it's using art and the creative process to help with communication and expression. So, we can do painting, drawing, all kinds of different mediums that we can use.
I've seen lately, those adult painting by colors. Does
Coloring
that
book.
consider as art therapy?
Okay, so there is also confusion with that art therapy and therapeutic art activities. So like coloring books, doodling books, those are kind of quick, instant fixes to for like a stressful day, or if you just want to relax. It's like a quick, relaxing, fun activity to do by yourself at home. But I think I should clarify that art therapy involves the client, it involves the artwork and an art therapist as well. So that relationship is very important in the art therapy process, which makes it different from, doing the coloring at home by yourself. And
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I see. All right, so what type of mental orders and what sort of people can participate in this therapy?
Okay, so art therapy really is for everyone. There's no specific kind of disorder that's, that can be used with art therapy. It's open to children. I've worked with children as young as 1 year old, so very young. I've worked with adults with learning disabilities. So I've worked with people who have autism, people who have come from traumatic backgrounds, children who have come from foster homes, from orphanages, just people that have led quite complicated and difficult lives and come from difficult circumstances. But really, it's for everyone. It's for people like me and you. You don't have to be an artist. It's if you just want to learn more about yourself, get more creative, it really is open, and everyone comes with different needs when it comes to art therapy.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. So what do you have for us today, and what are you going to share?
So during this MCO, because I've been volunteering with MIASA, which is the Mental Illness and Awareness Support Association in Malaysia, I've been, doing online art activities from home that you can do at home by yourself or with children. So I have been kind of uploading a weekly art activity that you can do at home.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That involves, kind of de-stressing or relaxing. Just a way to have fun and get away from your phone, get away from screen time.
Yeah.
I've come up with some, these are not I did not find these activities. These are just really popular techniques that are used in the therapeutic world when it comes to art therapy. So what I have today is 2 different drawing activities. And the reason I chose these ones is because you don't need many materials. All you need is an art block, some marker pens, color pens, but obviously you can use whatever materials you have at home. But these were the most kind of simple and accessible art activities that you can do at home.
So you post your videos on on art therapy on Instagram and Facebook, MIASA's
Yes,
Instagram
so
and Facebook?
they're all on MIASA's Instagram, so MIASA Malaysia, which is their social media. So far, it's just been on Instagram.
I
So
see.
it's every Wednesday I've been posting an art activity to do at home.
Okay.
So because I started, volunteering for MIASA right before the MCO started, so we weren't able to do kind of in-house, in real life sessions. So Puan Anita, who's the founder of MIASA, thought it would be a good idea to, take this digitally and do it online, just so it's accessible to, they've got a big audience online. So yeah, I've been just trying to come up with as many activities as I can to kind of fill your time. And I'll be showing you some of them today.
Okay, that's great. Let's start.
All right, so maybe we can do the first one. The first one, this one is called the scribble drawing technique.
Okay.
And it is a really simple, drawing activity to kind of just get your creativity going. Like sometimes, just to start can be quite scary.
Yeah.
Can be quite an intimidating process. Just looking at a blank piece of paper, you're like, where do I start? Like it looks so easy when artists do it, and people are quite scared. So this is a really good way. It works with children and it works with adults in therapy sessions as well. So it's called the scribble drawing technique, and you just need, some marker pens. So I've done, the full piece already, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. But obviously, everyone's piece is going to look different.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the process. It's not about the end product. Unlike in an art class, that's where the main kind of difference is. People get confused with, art class and art therapy. They're like, is that the same thing? What's the difference? So, with art therapy, it's all about the creative process and, expressing emotions and feelings that come during the process. And with art class, it's, I think, more about the finished product, to make something look good. But in art therapy, there's none of that. It's not about looking good. It's not about, making it look perfect. It's about just kind of embracing that journey. So yeah, this will be the first activity that I'll be showing today. And this was actually the first activity that I posted for MIASA when this MCO started.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was quite a hit. I think mainly because it's very simple.
Yeah.
And, the idea of something being really simple and just requiring very few products makes something a bit more kind of
accessible
and easy to get into.
Yeah.
So this was a hit. My sister has been doing it at home.
Okay.
I've been seeing her do this a lot. I've been doing it myself as well. And, we got like some replies and feedback on MIASA's Instagram. They've been tagging us, with their posts, with their artwork. So it's really interesting to see like different, results of, and not really like what it looked like, but it was just interesting to see how everyone came up with something different.
Yeah.
Even though it's like the same activity and the same foundation. So yeah, that's going to be the first one that we're going to be starting today.
Okay, before we start, let's say hi to some of our viewers. Today we have Miss Sophia Dean. She's asking Miss Dana, how can I follow your classes?
Oh, okay. So like, I'm guessing the online kind of art activities for now during, the situation that we're in, like with the conditional MCO and stuff, you can view all of my activities posted on MIASA's Instagram page. So it's MIASA Malaysia on Instagram, and that's what I'm kind of volunteering for.
Okay, so kita punya viewers hari ini, jangan lupa follow page MIASA Malaysia, okay? Alright, so let's start.
Yep. Okay, so first of all we would need is a pen.
Okay.
So I see you've got a black pen there. All right, so maybe we can... All right, and I like to, tell people before they start an activity to just really just take one deep breath to really engage in the activity that we're about to do and to kind of just help ourselves relax before the activity even starts. So
okay.
Okay, and it should just be fun. Just relax. Don't be, nervous about what it's gonna turn
Turn
out
out
like.
okay.
So, the first thing we're gonna do is first we're gonna just draw some random shapes. So if you see these outlines, any kind of random, it could be squares, but I like to use just kind of free, organic, loose shapes. So you can just start off by just a few, like all around the paper. And the whole idea is to not really think too much, not to overthink the process, just really let it flow.
So how long have you been doing this, Dana?
Okay, so I just kind of got my master's degree in art psychotherapy from Goldsmiths University in London last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And, it was a 2-year course. And before that, I was, working in the education setting as a teacher, and I was focusing a lot on, creative subjects in schools. So I was working with really young children in early years centers. But as far as art therapy is concerned, I've been doing it for the last, now it's come up to 2.5 years. So I was a trainee art psychotherapist for 2 years as part of the master's course. And, during those 2 years, I was working with really young children in an early years center. So children from the ages of 1 to 4.
Wow.
Very, very. I mean,
Very
I didn't
young.
even know that was possible, but I was a
Yeah.
trainee,
This
and
is
I
my
had
first time hearing it too.
I had to kind of just get into, whatever I was being offered. So that was a challenge, but it was very, very interesting. And then after that, for another year, I gave therapy sessions in a primary school in London. So it was a public primary school. And then after that, so I graduated last June. I kind of took a little bit of a summer break.
Don't we all?
Yeah, which was, much needed. But then I got straight back into, working in the education setting. That's kind of my specialty.
I see.
Art therapy is, offered, in lots of settings. It's offered, in psychiatric wards and hospitals and prisons and schools mainly. So I was working in the school setting. So yeah, it's been about 2.5 years professionally. And now since I've just moved back to Malaysia, I'm starting to kind of, start here again. So here I am doing the scribble drawing activity. All right, so you can, once, you've kind of filled the whole page and you're happy with what you have, we're gonna go into, the details of it. So I guess when you look at it, it just kind of looks like, whoa, how do I, where do I start? But so you pick one shape, all right, and then it's called a scribble drawing technique because all you have to do is just literally scribble.
Okay.
Do
give
lots
this
of
a
like
try.
curvy lines, kind of lines that cross each other. There's really no right or wrong way.
Okay.
And then just keep going.
So, viewers kita di live hari ni, are you joining us today? Let's try this art therapy at home
Yeah.
with Miss Dana.
And this is supposed to be just something really relaxing to do that you can do with your children as well. And it's for adults. It's really for anyone that's just looking to.
Especially during this MCO, everyone has free
Yeah.
time at home with
Yeah,
your kids.
I mean, I found myself, having a lot of screen time on my phone throughout this MCO.
Yeah.
And after a while, you're just like, it becomes too much.
Yeah, I mean,
Too much just staring at the screen. So I'm an artist as well. That's how I got into this field. But other than painting and doing commission pieces for clients or working for future projects, these are things that I would just kind of do when I'm having what you would call a creative block. So a creative block is when you're just feeling stuck.
This is similar to a writer's block?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's kind of like, when you stare at the piece and it's
What's
gonna
happen?
yeah. So just a great starting point.
Okay, we have a viewer today who asked, I wanted to start my painting art, but I have this nervous kind of thing. How to deal with it?
Okay, so that is, very common. I mean, even as an artist myself, I still get, really nervous when it comes to painting. Well, not as much as I did before. If it's something personal for myself that means a lot to me, and where I'm trying to put what's inside out onto a piece of canvas, it can be quite scary. It can feel quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where it's going to take you. But that's the beauty of art. I think what can help, is first of all, just, believing in yourself, trusting that voice, and remembering that, with creativity and art making, there is no right or wrong. There's really, unless you're going to art school, and studying fine art or something, then you've got people who can judge your work. But if you're just doing this for yourself, just relax, just have fun. And, these are great kind of methods to kind of get going and just start the process, like this one that we're doing right now.
Okay.
Just to kind of get, some people haven't picked up a pen or a paintbrush or a marker pens in so long. We're so used to tapping away on our laptops. And so it's just a great way just to kind of try and build that confidence again. Because I realize, once you've done a finished piece, there's this sense of accomplishment that feels really good. And that I think helps with,
I'm sure the satisfaction does help boost your maybe self-esteem and
definitely.
how you feel about
You're like,
yourself.
oh, I've done this on my own.
Yeah.
I've started with a blank piece of paper. In the beginning, I was scared of, the paper scared me, this blank piece of paper. But now, I just feel like I've been able to make something out of it, and it looks nice. And sometimes when people are happy with their work, even though it's not about the end product, they can use it as home decor, or it's something that they're really proud of.
Or a present.
Or a present. Yeah, these are just really nice kind of ways to, just get in touch with your artistic side, which everyone has.
Yeah.
It just comes down to a matter of, if we choose to nurture this creativity or not. Sometimes I just feel like the older you get, the more disconnected you get from, nurturing your creativity. You're so busy with work. You're so busy with, social media or like everything that life has to throw at you, that just picking up just like a simple piece of paper and a pen, going back to basics. In school, we were so happy making art. Yeah. We created a mess.
Paper mache.
We loved, and then sometimes I just think, what happened to that? So, as an artist myself, I've chosen to kind of nurture that creativity, but it's something I love as well. And I mean, it's obviously not everyone's passions, but so I think hopefully that kind of answers my question of how to start. This is just a good way to start.
Okay.
And all right, I guess should we just maybe finish these ones?
So there's no limit to how many?
No, not at all. There's really no rules. The only structure, is that it's the scribble technique.
Okay.
And scribble is like kind of the main kind of focus in this.
I see.
Yeah, because scribbling kind of helps you, forget about worrying things going on in your mind. Sometimes you have like 1,000 thoughts racing in your head. So this is a nice way to just kind of switch off for a bit and
just let loose.
Just let loose and go with the flow. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be going for a commercial break shortly. Terima kasih for viewing our live. For now, we will be going for a break. Jangan lupa join sekejap lagi. terima kasih dan selamat kembali ke rancangan Awak Okey. Today with us is Miss Tana Karina, a registered volunteer with MIASA Malaysia. So before the commercial break, we were doing
The scribble drawing technique.
technique. Right. Okay, so for those of you at home, jangan lupa join kita dan share your artwork with us today.
Yeah, so what we were doing is, we were kind of just doing the beginning of the piece, which was the scribbles. And I see that you've already filled
all of mine.
all your parts. So let me just go ahead and do mine. And there's something therapeutic about like drawing lines as well that I find personally as well as just just having that pen on the paper and just
going
kind of free flowing. I just feel like instantly relaxed. But maybe that's just me, but that is kind of feedback I get a lot as well. All right, so once we've got that and we're happy with the piece, then we're going to go on to just kind of coloring them in. So what I've done with this one is I've colored in each block, any color, and I like to, tell people to choose colors that make them happy, or, it depends on the situation. If you're feeling really kind of down and stressed, choose colors that are going to
brighten up your mood.
So bright colors. I mean, I love pastels, as you can see. Pink is my favorite. I always gravitate towards a pink right away.
Yeah, I can see it there.
And so these are kind of my favorite colors. So I guess we can just start. We've got these as well, and we can use color pencils. So really, the whole idea is just to take time for yourself. The whole point of this activity is just to kind of focus on this and, not allow the other distractions to come in. Like put your phone away, maybe put some music on.
Okay, so are there any specific qualifications you need to be a therapist or?
Yes, okay, so, as I was mentioning earlier, I got a master's degree in art psychotherapy. And, that is the main kind of postgraduate qualification that you would need to be a licensed and registered art therapist. So when you're a registered art therapist and you've got a license to practice, you're following by, certain rules and making sure your practice is ethical and, you're doing the best you can to help your client. So, in order to kind of get into this master's course, firstly, you need to be an artist in some way. So you need to have a certain level of interest and artistic ability.
But does it require you to, say, have a diploma beforehand in art?
So, okay, there's, suggested kind of direction to go about this is a lot of my peers were fine art students before. So a lot of them have come from the fine art background or art in some sort of way. But for me, I am a self-taught artist. I've never studied it professionally. It's just something I've been doing for the last decade or maybe, actually more right now.
Wow.
It's just something I really enjoy. So I think as long as you can, prove that you've got some sort of like a body of work, as long as you've been having this consistent art practice throughout your life, then you should be fine. Because I had my degree in psychology.
I see, but there is some...
Yeah, so as long as you meet the criteria, and then I volunteered and worked in the education sector and in the mental health sector, so that's kind of all the things they look at as well when you're applying for the course. So, yeah.
I obviously do not have any creative talents whatsoever.
I mean, like I said, everyone really does. It's kind of that fear and that anxiety and that self-doubt that's holding us back.
I see.
Even like the most talented and professional, artists out there, everyone has self-doubt. But I think it's just, putting in the effort to nurture the creativity in you, pretty much allowing yourself to become a kid again. There's nothing wrong with going back to kind of childlike basics, to help with your creativity. And to just kind of get away from all the adult kind of problems you face and responsibilities you get when you're older.
I remember drawing these on my mom's walls in my family home.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, they look quite similar.
I don't remember You mean drawing on walls?
Yes.
Oh, right. Kind of every parent's nightmare, huh?
So where did you get this artistic, talent from? Your mom, your dad, or is it just self?
Okay, I think I think my dad would want me to say as well that he's a very creative person.
Don't tell them
he
that.
he can definitely draw. He's very artistic, but I think the main kind of place I got it from is my grandma.
I
So
see.
on my mom's side, who's from Finland, my Finnish grandma, she is not a professional artist in any sense. Like she didn't go to school for it or anything like that. But everything she makes, is by hand.
Oh, I see.
She's the most creative person I know. She's the most inspirational person that I know. She can paint, she can draw, she can make clothes, she can build things, she can like make rugs.
Oh,
She
wow.
bakes. She just
It's something you cannot find these days.
no. So I think growing up, like I probably never realized like when I was younger how much I was influenced by her. Because now my mom would kind of always tell me like, "Wow, you're like your grandma." Sometimes I feel like a grandma at my age because I'm just like, painting on like old stuff at home. Like during this MCO as well, I've been, upcycling like recyclable materials. So just painting on like old jars, decorating stuff around the house. But other than that, I've been using art as a way to kind of just express myself my whole life, really, because I've had lots of different kind of phases in my life, like in relation to where I've lived. So when I was 18, I moved to Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that
Oh,
was
wow,
my
you really
first
have
time.
traveled.
My first time, leaving home,
Okay.
moving away from home. So I literally picked,
The furthest away.
the most isolated place in the world. But this was to continue my degree in psychology.
And you were alone?
And I was alone, yes. I went there without knowing anyone. So I just feel like art was a way for me to kind of help myself and cope with all the, difficulties of moving, the reality of being away from home. And then it kind of evolved from there into a lifelong practice until now. I had my first art show in Hawaii.
Wow, so you coordinated and planned for this art show or took part of?
It kind of just happened. I made a lot of good friends while I was living out there, a lot of creative people, and people seem to really like my work. It's very different compared to what I do now, so it just shows that where you are in the environment you're in, different phases of your life, you're kind of influenced by different things. So that's a way for me to kind of look at my work and I can remember like, oh, this was done during my Hawaii phase. This was done during my London phase,
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice, something to look at.
Yeah.
From your opinion, like, do you think we Malaysians here are as exposed as everyone else to art therapy
Okay.
or art in, as a whole?
Art in general here, we've got a very, there's so many creative people that I've met here in Malaysia. I just think that, in the rest of the world, we're so focused on, what we don't have here, or, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
But, there's so much talent here that I've come across. In terms of art therapy, probably not. That's the one thing I was kind of nervous about moving back. I knew that if I moved back to Malaysia, I wasn't going to have the same kind of platform and support system that I had in London. In London, I had my peers, I had my professors, I had people who have people who have been working in this field for decades. So I had kind of people to connect with over there. But, on the other hand, the advantages of moving back here and kind of, starting, well, not starting from the bottom, but kind of reintroducing it here and creating awareness around it thing is quite exciting.
Yeah.
Because, ever since I moved back, I definitely feel there's been a huge kind of shift in the topic of mental health. I see it, being spoken about more often. I see it in the newspapers, on the news, things like this. Is what gives me hope that art therapy can become something, and not just art therapy, but just talking about mental health and breaking the stigma.
Do you think that maybe, adults see art therapy as maybe like, maybe this is more for children, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I am not surprised, but I think the reason they think that is because, they think that maybe it's too simple or, this is, I'm already past that phase in my life. This looks
Yeah.
like something children can enjoy. But I think unless you try it,
You will
again,
know.
you wouldn't know. Art therapy is all about, self-exploration, self-discovery, just like connecting with yourself. And I think I just, want to also clarify that, these activities are not, these are not art psychotherapy. This is not what we'll be doing, when I'm giving a session in a school. These can be kind of starting points if someone's stuck. This is more, just kind of fun, little quick activities that you can do at home.
Yeah.
But art therapy, I think what people need to know that it's very different. There's no structure in an art session. So art therapy can be done individually or in a group. So there's no structure. So it's really whatever you want to bring in, this clay making, painting, collage, really experimenting with all kinds of
So
mediums.
it's not specifically just drawing per se.
No.
Any
It's
type of art.
Like, when you think about the word art, it doesn't just mean one thing.
Yeah.
Art can be anything.
Anything. Yeah, music is art.
Yeah, so, for adults that maybe have this kind of preconceived notion that it's just for children, I've worked with, adults before. Obviously, my main specialty was working with children, but I also worked with adults, who had learning disabilities, who found it more difficult to kind of express themselves through words. This is a great way. And
Do you find that they are more calm, more open after going through art therapy?
you mean adults or in general?
In general.
Well, it's very hard to say, some of the people that I've worked with come from really traumatic backgrounds,
Yeah.
have led very difficult lives. So it's not all, happy and fun. These are very difficult feelings that some people are trying to process. And the art is just a way for them to just kind of have this medium rather than talking, to use their creative side and to kind of express themselves in another way. But for some people, definitely they find it relaxing. Other people, maybe some people that I've worked with in the beginning, they're like, this is really stressful because they haven't done it in so long. But, just like with any...
I think I can understand that
Yeah,
person.
but I think, like with any activity, with any kind of therapeutic treatment, you have to go in with an open mind.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to embrace the journey. And I think, after time, you'll start to feel that once your self-confidence and your self-esteem has gone up, everything will just kind of flow a little bit more naturally. And that's why, the art therapist is there to help with this. It's not something you can do at home alone, if you're trying to process all these difficult
Emotions
feelings and
yeah.
emotions while, art making, if you're finding it really difficult to process them, that's where the art therapist comes in. We're there to kind of guide you,
Yeah.
guide you, help you explore any feelings that are being brought up. We can kind of help like organize the thoughts that you're having through art making. We could also maybe suggest, trying out like clay or other forms of art. It really depends and it really varies
Yeah, on the
among
person.
people.
Yeah.
It's so different. Every story and like kind of outcome is very different. All the processes are completely varied and not one is ever the same from my experience.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that it's like that with most things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you agree that therapy is only for introverts? Or
No, I mean, like I said, therapy is for everyone. How someone would describe an introvert is, an introvert is thought to be what? Reserved, more quiet, less sociable.
Yeah.
So the opposite of extrovert, which is, more outgoing, lively, active, sociable. I guess I can see why people would think that art therapy would be good for introverts because
they're not really showing emotions and
they don't
communicating
tend to
with people.
express themselves, in a way extroverts may
Extroverts.
expect.
Yeah.
So they think that. So I guess I can see, why people would think that. However, like I said, everyone comes with different struggles and needs. Extroverts could come in, wanting to build on other kind of things that they feel that they don't have, that maybe introverts have. So
Yeah.
everyone comes in with a different story, a different personal struggle. So there's really no,
Specific person.
no specific person. Yeah.
So if I wanted to come and see you personally, how do I go about that?
All right, so right now I've just moved back. Well, not just moved back, but it's been a few months. But I've just been trying to get on my feet. Right now, because I'm volunteering with MIASA. After whenever this whole MCO thing is over, MIASA are opening a clubhouse that's run by peers with mental disorders and mental health issues. So it'll be run by peers for peers, and that's where I'm going to be offering. I think weekly art therapy kind of groups.
Groups, I see.
Yeah,
But
so-
do you do maybe like one-to-one sessions? Maybe we
Yeah,
have
I do
some viewers who
one-to-one.
are
Yeah,
interested.
I have one-to-one sessions as well. And for now, I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Donna Karina Art. Instagram, and that's my email as well, donnakarinaart@gmail. So for now, I'm just kind of trying to build a client base here, going to people's homes to maybe do the sessions until I've got my own studio and my own place to practice. Everything's obviously just been postponed
yeah,
because of
MCO.
Yeah, because of the MCO.
Okay, so for viewers kita hari ni yang interested dengan kita punya session, you can find Dana on
Yes.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Dana Karina Art. You can also email her, danakarinaart@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. So technically, you would need artistic skills to do art therapy, or
As a client and as someone that wants to do art therapy, you don't need any artistic skills. Only the art therapist
I see. Okay.
needs the artistic skills. And the reason for this is because there are people that come in that haven't had any kind of engagement or experience making any art for a long time.
Yeah.
Children, they've got less inhibitions and they're a bit more ready to try everything.
Yeah.
They're very curious. Sometimes I have to keep up with the kids, but I think with adults seem to be a bit more reserved.
Need to give them a little push.
They
to
have a
start.
bit more like self-doubt. This idea that things need to look good and, they just need to create this like amazing piece, which is not
necessary.
It's not that at all. So it's only the art therapist that needs to have, the artistic ability. And this is so that we can help you build your confidence to engage with art materials. We can help you explore, materials that you've never tried before, like clay or collage making. And then like with children, art is very abstract
Yeah.
to kids. The therapist kind of has to be ready to engage in all sorts of
Shenanigans.
Yes. So it's not just, people think art therapy is just painting, drawing,
Yeah.
drawing literally how you feel. It's not like that at all. I think we have a lot of kind of misunderstanding about what it's like. But with children, I've had to kind of be able to think on my feet. And that's why you need a creative person to be an art therapist.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to make art on sand. They want to play with puppets. They want to do role play. They
Different
want to
things
build
every day for kids.
They want to build things out of random things that they find. But that's a great part. I learn a lot from them as well.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds very interesting working with kids, although I know it can be a handful or maybe
Yeah,
two.
I love kids, so it helps. I absolutely love working with children because I feel like sometimes I learn more from them.
Yeah.
Than they learn from me. Just kind of reminding myself, like, to just embrace, like, your childlike ways and question things, to be curious, to never stop being curious,
Yeah.
pretty much, and that's how they learn. They're like sponges.
They are. They
And
definitely are.
I love it. They're like sponges, they just take in anything that you kind of give them. They're ready to explore.
Okay.
Which is why I love working with children.
All right, so we'll be going for a commercial break for now. Terima kasih kepada kita punya viewers. Kita akan pergi ke commercial break untuk sebentar.